everybody I know listens to music. I don't really know anybody that doesn't enjoy music.
To be a musician and make that your living is almost impossible. They don't make a lot of money in the grand scheme of things. You have to make ends meet somehow.
I'm kind of slowly starting to accept poverty.
You just have to overcome those challenges, and that's hopefully hopefully I'm up to it.
My name's Nathan from Austin, Texas, and playing music up here in New Jersey, going to school at William Patterson. By the time I got to high school, I was sort of beginning to focus on music. Other hobbies started to go by the wayside, and then music just sort of started to take over everything. Senioritis told me I couldn't do paperwork for my whole life. Well, I decided I wanted to try and, give it my best shot, be a jazz musician. I play saxophone, flute, clarinet. I play a lot of piano, and then over the summer I bought a set of bagpipes. It literally, it's what gets me up in the morning. When I get up, I'll just be like, what am I doing, making my coffee. But then once I get to listen to a little bit of music on my drive up to school, then I'm like, okay, now I know what I'm doing.
My name is Andrew Malaya. I go to William Patterson University. I'm from Leonia, New Jersey. I was 15. I helped a friend do some recording at his house, because he made his own music. And I was just going crazy, thinking I could learn every instrument ever. I was learning to write songs on the piano. After that, I was like, oh man, I want to do this. I just liked the way the microphone looked, and I was like, oh, this is the coolest thing.
My name is Dan Philippek. I'm from Hillsborough, New Jersey, and I go to William Patterson University. My main instrument is bass, mainly the upright bass. I've played it for 6 years. I started in high school in orchestra. I took a strings class thinking it was guitar, and it turns out it was orchestra. I had a teacher at my community college really got me into it, and it kind of grew on me very slowly. It was never an aha moment. It was a gradual process.
I'm Carl Krantz. I grew up in Woodstown, New Jersey. My official instrument is the violin. I've been playing the violin for over 10 years now. I also play the guitar, a little bit of a bunch of various instruments. I can play a little banjo, I can play the bass, I can play a little piano. If it has strings on it, I can usually figure my way around it. I knew I wanted to do audio. That in itself limited the number of schools down to not that many. It has a very good reputation. I wanted to go to a place, obviously, that was going to get me a job. That's the goal. And get me ready for different challenges that I'm going to face. And do more than just showing me a console or whatever and saying, these are the buttons you push. There's many different things you can do with sound, broadcasting, live events or sports. There's post-audio, which is for movies or video games. There's actually recording music, mastering music. There's live sound. There's a lot of different fields that you can go into. The sound program here and anywhere, really, it's a weird major because there's a lot of music involved, but there's also a lot of science involved.
We train our ears to listen for certain notes and figure out what is going on in the song without reading the music.
Piano, theory, music history. I have to play in a certain amount of ensembles. I have to take 2 years of private lessons.
So you get one-on-one with your teacher, and it's always great because they teach you, they teach you and not just a syllabus.
So there's this weird mesh where you're half scientist almost, half engineer, half musician.
I just started writing songs, and it helps me to take it to the piano and kind of work it out and figure out where it's going to go, to play a melody and then to be able to sing it back to myself.
And when I came to this school, there was musicians that were of really high caliber, that were really good, and it pushed me to work harder and to try and get better to play with them.
Knowing the science behind what you're hearing really benefits you, not only, as a musician and as an engineer especially, because now you know how we hear.
And we're so very delighted that you came tonight to support the orchestra and share this wonderful music with them. Thank you.
When you create something that is meaningful to yourself and to other people, I think most importantly yourself, that's the most rewarding thing.
When I get to play like my music or like music with my band in a small jazz group with friends of mine, and people like see it and like it, that's a good feeling.
The truth is, it's like an extension of like our emotions, and if you don't live like without like expressing your emotions or like getting emotions like sent to you from another person, like you're not really alive. You're just kind of like existing.
In terms of like, you can get together and play with your friends, and it's fun, but it's not the same. It's definitely not the same as playing in front of other people. Hey everybody! Thanks for coming.
You feel like everything's locking, and you kind of feel like the music is going off on its own, and that you're just like, it's just coming through you. That's what I'm constantly chasing. I think that's what most musicians are constantly chasing.
It feels very nice when you get it right, and especially if you're doing it with somebody else, and you guys both are like, yeah, we got this.
When I finish a song that I know is good and that I'm actually proud of, that's one of the best feelings in the entire world. When you get to play it in front of people, it can be scary sometimes, because that's you. Like nothing makes you feel cooler than when you play this song that you're worried about and you just poured your heart out into it, and people will come up to you afterwards and be like, man, like that was really cool.
To me, that would make my life like pretty complete. Like to know that I did that.
For it to affect people on a deeper level, and that's why I do it.
But I try to make it seem like maybe someone would like feel like the way I'm feeling when I'm playing. So sleepy.
I used to write a lot. Lately, within the last year or two, it's really drastically slowed down. Here I am, I'm a music major, and I don't have time to play music.
In school, it can be a drag to take classes that aren't gonna have any benefit.
I am so busy all the time. I rarely have time to myself. And so that's something that I still am trying to figure out how to deal with.
The worst part about being a music student is school actually takes away from your time to focus on music a lot of times, because of our core requirements, all of our general education classes we have to take. They take up a lot of time.
Just being in school itself and having to do this and do that, like, it stifles creativity.
Music school actually is more of a distraction than anything else. If I wasn't in school, I'd probably be playing more music.
It can be hard to see the rewards in this, you know? It's hard to see, so why am I doing this? Like, why am I even bothering? Like, what am I going to get out of this?
A lot of music majors worry about is what they're going to do after college to make money. It's one of the things that family will often ask you is what are you going to do?
Money I don't think really matters to me, but as I get older, you grow up and you realize that unfortunately it has a very big grip on everything.
I mean, the gigs I can get now are really nice. It's just kind of like pocket change. I get a gig here and there, and it'll pay like $50, $100 if I'm lucky.
It's hard to bank on gigs as far as paying rent, though.
I want to be able to wake up every day and not dread the day. That's all, in its simplest form. That's all I could ask for.
I think it'll be hard to make a living, but I also feel like it's not. Just depending on what you do, like I could always teach, or I could always, like maybe work another job.
The common thing is teaching, and I don't think I want to teach. I've taught a little bit, and I'm not really into it that much.
To be a musician and make that your living is almost impossible.
So it's not something you can really account for ahead of time.
It's going to be hard, and that's something that's become more and more apparent the closer I get to getting out of school and actually going for it.
Music is sort of like a dying industry. Like even sound engineering, which was like so much more of like a sure shot maybe like 10 years ago. But now everyone has a computer. You don't need an engineer.
I find myself all the time going like, am I doing the right thing with my life? Is this really what I should be doing? Whether it's what I want to be doing?
I know that it's a long process, and I don't have any like goal of like stardom or like super like big success. I just kind of do it for the music.
You don't really judge success as a musician financially, but still you have to make some money, obviously, to live.
I don't want to be like, poor, but I might be poor. Like I'm kind of slowly starting to like accept poverty.
It'll be emotionally and creatively draining, I'm sure. But you just have to overcome those challenges, and that's hopefully hopefully I'm up to it. We'll see.
I realized that it was like a long process learning music, and it wasn't going to be an easy thing, and I had to just start practicing very hard. And I guess my goal was to practice very hard and work very hard in order to play with musicians that I admired.
Before it would be like, oh, I could take like a 3-week hiatus from like practicing, but I couldn't do that now.
But I've also realized that I don't need to be afraid of some of the things that I was originally afraid of.
Whether you're writing something and you write a thought or something down, and then you're just kind of like, shit, that it's scary that came out of me, because that, like, am I okay? Like,
To do everything that college is telling you to do, or school is telling you to do, or teachers are telling you to do is beneficial, but you also have to find your own things that you like in order to kind of become an individual and not become a product of an institution.
Music like helps me like realize that I can be like a certain kind of person, or like it like will make like helps me like reflect.
But a lot of times it's a good thing. It's a good thing regardless. You learn a lot about yourself when you force yourself to be creative. Above all else, I think the one thing that I've consistently just loved about being here is the people. And I've met some great people here that I know I'm going to be in touch with for the rest of my life. And a lot of people. Meeting people, I think, has been the best part of this experience.
It's good because I get to meet a lot of people and get mentored by some very good teachers there. Yeah.
It's really easy to just like find somebody and be able to like express yourself to them like musically, like, hey man, I have this idea. Or, like, dude, did you hear that song? Like, didn't you like that thing that happened?
Meeting people to play music with, people that I know in the future, so many years down the road, if I'm gonna need a saxophone player, and I'm gonna know who to call.
Getting out and meeting other people, playing gigs with them. You want to be on a level where people are going to want to call you to play with them too.
I'm doing something that I love, that I'm very passionate about. When I'm home, on the weekends, I'm hanging out with friends, we're talking about music, we're discussing music, we're playing music. There's no difference between my school life and my actual life. My school life is my actual life. So.
It's like having a bunch of people around that are all like psyched to like appreciate the same thing as you, like, like regardless of if they actually like it, like if they're like, hear a tune, like, it's not so catchy, or like they're just like, oh, I didn't like that, but like they're still like psyched to like understand, like they're still like pretty happy to be like, man, that was cool.
Because without those connections, you're not gonna, where are you gonna go?